ask you a question? Why you don't never play with my nipples? I got nipples too. It's my turn to get tied up. Not them handcuffs though. I got PTSD. Welcome to Hardorsoft, where men speak, so hopefully somebody will understand. Now.
Okay, I was a super nerd first, so in my mind when I was in my teens and building my career, I was like, okay, I can never change like my cock size or whatever the case may be. Like, what can men work on, right? So it became fitness was my thing. So I became a personal trainer. I learned how to get a six pack, and I learned how to get a six-figure income, right? So most men just think they need to be at least 6 feet tall and whatever those criteria should be. So I work really hard on those external things. But the funny thing is, even though I got the money and I got the six pack, it didn't change my confidence in the bedroom because it's still like this dark secret I have, right? And most of my like early sexual experience in my 20s were mediocre. And even if the girl told me it's okay, I didn't believe her because I have all this internalized like insecurity and shame. And then, so I work on all the things I could change. But the good thing about working on like, you know, making money or getting a six pack, I learned a lot about how to apply science. Like you need to figure out like exactly how to eat and how to train and what works for the human body. So I learned all the biohacking shit that I didn't know that they don't teach in the sex industry. They only tell you if you're not born with it, you're fucked. Right?
You said biohacking?
Yeah, so biohacking, learning how, like fitness hacking, learning how to get like really low body fat and build muscle at the same time, or, you know, how much protein to eat or whatever. Like what is the best way
cheat codes
to get the best result? And it's not always like as, you know, as little effort as possible. It's like, what is the most effective thing? Sometimes it's still really hard work, but it gets you better result. So when I start to go like, oh shit, now I'm in this sex party world and I see everybody fucking and doing shit, and the only place men could learn is like I must fuck like a porn star, but it's not true. It's not how it works. I mean, I've been on porn set, right? Like that sex and real sex is two different worlds.
Right.
So then I was like, maybe I need to learn everything I can about sex, and their content out there wasn't that good a decade ago. So I dug up everything I could learn. I learned from like tantra, kinksters, all their sex research I could possibly read. Because there's a lot of good research out there, but people don't know how to turn it to utility and like how to use it. So then, and the funniest part, I would go around sex party, and if I see someone really good, I would actually go up to him or her, like, how did you just do that? Because it's like evidence-based learning. Like a personal trainer and go like, hey, how did you squat like 500 pounds? So I go up to everybody, write down how they did it, and then start like comparing, this guy said it this way, this guy said it that way. And then I start collecting all the squirting technique first that I could possibly learn from people. Because there's there's like one guy at a party that's just making everybody squirt.
Everybody squirt.
Yeah, there's one or
everybody
two.
Squirt.
We know
that
a
guy.
We know
so
a guy.
I talked to maybe 100 of those guys. And then I kind of like compare notes and distilled it into what I think is the most effective techniques out of the whole bunch. But that's how I actually got started, just being a nerd. But then I became sort of that guy at the party now because I have mastered the technique.
Right.
And then this amazing sex party in New York called Top 4 Club asked me to just teach a workshop before one of the events. And I was like, I taught fitness for a really long time, so I could be, you know, in front of a room showing technique, but I never thought about teaching like sex that way. So I go like, fuck it, like, you know, I go like, hey, I just have skill sharing, like this is not my job, not my expertise, but let me show you how I would do it. So all of a sudden I'm in this hotel room, beautiful hotel room, like 16, 15 couples showed up. And I'm in front of this room with a demo model, like a lover of mine. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a TED Talk like lecture, and then I'm going to demo it, and then going to have everybody practice live, like a Peloton class or some shit.
Not a spin class.
Imagine everybody next to each other trying to hit the G-spot.
Now finger it. 1, 2, 3. Squirt.
Okay.
But it works in a fitness context because people have to learn skill, right? In a group environment. So I'm used to teaching that. So all of a sudden I'm doing this thing, I demo this thing, and then everybody's squirting in the room. I was like, holy shit, this is like amazing. And I was like sick of teaching fitness because it takes forever for people to get results. Not like sex. It's like once you dial it in, if you make it right, it kind of works instantly.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
So I saw this fountain show and I'm like, fuck it, like there's something here. And then after that experience, I just figure because I'm in the community, and I just turned it into a career.
You know, it's so funny. You said something that corroborated with me. You said you went into sex, you started asking people questions and taking notes. You kind of view sex like a craft.
Yeah.
Almost. And it's so funny because as guys, we just view sex as some horny shit. Yeah. I mean, we all know, I'm nice with it. It's a skill. But like when you really like tap in and down, like you study sex for real. You know, like you're like a student of sex, like a sexual student. It's almost like a school. Like, you know, you go to school long enough, you go to college, you learn math, you get a bachelor's in math. Then when you get your master's in math, you're not eligible to teach math, you know? Yeah. So it's almost like you've, dare I say,
or doctors. Or masters, right?
Master. You kind of like mastered sex to a point where you could like show people.
Do you still enjoy it?
I mean, of course. I love it's also I feel so fortunate that it's a topic that is just enjoyable. I mean, not like building your business and career is always tough, right? In the business side of it. But if I get the chance and my business is built in a certain way, producing, learning, creating content is pleasurable for me.
When you say freaky, what's freaky? What you mean by freaky? All right, if I do this, you're not going to tell your friends, right?